Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Quick Tips, and today I have 5 tips that will help you catch more crappie. You like that, don't you? Tip number 1 is know your stuff. What I mean by that is you gotta know where the fish are in order to catch them. That sounds like a really simple saying, but it is true. If you don't know where the fish are, you're not going to be able to catch them. You're just going to bumble around the lake and waste all your precious fishing time. So what I recommend you do before you go fishing, read a couple articles, find out where the fish are at different times of the year. Now we have this thing called the internet, and you can basically find anything you want about anything on this. So research, crappie movements during the fall, and you'll get great information. Also go to a bait shop and ask and say, hey, what are they hitting on, where they're hitting. Usually they'll be very helpful and help you out with that. So that is tip number 1. All right guys, second tip of the day is try different lures. I mean, fish aren't gonna bite the same lure every single time you go fishing. So experiment with different lures and different colors, different sizes, and that will help you be more successful in the long run. Tip number 3 has to do with catching bigger crappie. Now this happens to all of us. You get into a school of crappie and you're catching them, but they just don't have any size to them. They're all really, really tiny. Well, a tip that can help you is to upscale your bait a little bit. The smaller crappie won't hit a bigger bait, and the bigger crappie will. So that will definitely help you catch some of those bigger crappie. Tip number 4. Tip your lure with something tasty. Now, this can be anything. Berkeley Gulp is really great. They make like these teeny little grubs that have awesome scent and flavor. You put that on your hook, that will help you get more strikes. Also, I've used ham in the past. A little strip of ham or lunch meat can definitely add more traction to your bait, jig, or whatever you're using, and definitely help you catch more fish. Guys, the final tip has to do with fishing in very cold and tough conditions. And this tip is basically to be subtle with your retrieve. When you're fishing for crappie, you retrieve fairly quickly. You get that jig bouncing up and down, and that gets those fish to bite. But when the water's really, really cold, you should really slow down. I've had times when the bait was literally barely moving. I mean, barely moving. I was just barely moving it, and I got a bite. So, when the water's cold, move your bait subtly, and you'll get fish. Oh, oh, little Junior. Be subtle, people. That helps. I was subtle and I caught this. Look at that. Wow, that's great. So there you go, guys. Those are 5 tips that will hopefully help you catch more fish. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more crappie fishing videos, click right here. I'll have a link to a playlist of them. As always, this is Brendan Miller signing out.